Okay, things before we start. Uh, Bloodborne is my favorite game of all time. I love it for literally every single part of it. The combat is super quick and aggressive as all hell. Um, all the enemies are crazy, well balanced. Thank you, Miyazaki. The music is fantastic. I actually do listen to the soundtrack on a fairly regular basis. Graphics are good. The whole world is like crazy enticing to me, and what we're here to do is really explore that world. So, my history. Let me turn down the sound even more. So, my history with this game, just to kind of put this on the table so you guys know where I'm coming from. I first played this game when it very first came out on one of my roommates' PS4s. I didn't have a PS4 at the time. I didn't get one for a couple more months. Started playing through it, could not put it down. Beat it within like a week and a half. Just kept going. I beat like I get into like new game, I don't know, 3 or 4 or something. Then I didn't pick it up again until I had my own PS4. Then I bought the game and I beat it. I platinum trophied it. This is one of the games that I have a platinum trophy on. I have, if we look at some of my games on here. So this is like my main game. This is the one game that I platinumed on. So it's definitely not as extensive as some people, definitely here on Twitch, have gone. But that's okay. In terms of how good I personally am, I am nowhere near as good as a lot of the people here on Twitch. Especially the people who literally play this all the time. People like Lobos or Zeus, to name just like 2 that I personally watch a decent amount. That being said, I am a lot better than most people coming into just like a random run. But I also haven't played this in a while. Especially a lot of the later optional bosses, like Abritus and stuff like that. So yeah. Other kind of things about the run. This is so full lore run. I'm actually, let me bring up. I made notes on kind of exactly what I wanted to do to get out of this run in general. So what our guiding rules are to do this is number 1, all areas must be explored in their entirety, with all items picked up. All item descriptions must be read. That's if you didn't know, the lore for the game is primarily put into the item descriptions as well as like dialogue. There's very few cutscenes, and most of the cutscenes tell you very little. Most of them are like introductions to characters, with the exception of one or 2 that actually do give you a decent amount of info. So we basically need to get all of the items that we can. I'm not going to be like, okay, this run is only done when we get 100% of items, because there's a lot of weird items. There's a couple of weird ruins and stuff in like the Chalice dungeons that don't actually add to the story in terms of like what they say in their descriptions. So, but we'll try to get the bulk of stuff. Okay, all NPC characters, we must exhaust their dialogues every time we meet them. I have laid out a whole list of like checks for me to make sure that I'm actually getting everybody where they are, even though I know where pretty much everybody is because I've played this enough. Getting everybody's specific quests So yeah, to be able to get all of them though, we do have to play through multiple games. I'll try to get about 90% of it on the first run. If we forget something, or there's stuff that doesn't work because we picked certain options, then we'll hit that on like the new game plus. I'm expecting to play through the full game basically 3 times. But only the very first time are we probably going to beat all bosses. Just like on the second times we're going to skip bosses that we've already kind of exhausted the lore on, because this is a lore run. So yeah, all NPC quests must be completed in their entirety, and yeah, I have a whole big checklist. Most of the stuff we're not going to do a whole lot today. I'm figuring, let's see, we have about 3 hours today. So my kind of goal is to get through all of Central Yharnam, which is the beginning area. Beat minimum the first 2 bosses. And we'll probably end up doing a little bit of Old Yharnam. A second. Sorry, cat being a little needy. So yeah, Old Yharnam is probably where we'll end up. Depending on how long most of the time, I don't really have like a general idea about how long stuff will take. I usually can speed through this whole game between like 5 and 6 hours. So, and that's how I usually play now, if I just like pick it up. But that gives me no kind of basis for how long anything's going to take in a run like this. See other things. If people want to co-op, I'm totally cool with that, because that has nothing to do with lore. If somebody's on here and is like, hey, can I just like co-op beat this boss with you? That's totally cool. Yeah. And we'll be stopping a decent amount to talk about certain things. Once we get to certain points, there's stuff that I want to point out that might not be immediately obvious. As well as if any of you guys are like, hey, you should go stop by this thing so we can like observe that or look at it longer, then we can totally do that. So with that said, let's get started. Okay, so right off the bat, already getting into the lore stuff. So things to note: we are an outsider coming to Yharnam for some reason. So we need to unravel its mysteries. One thing that he does say is call us Pale Blood. That basically means outsider. But remember that for later. There's some stuff that kind of ties into that. So we came into the city for some reason. I'm not sure if it actually touches on the reason, even though some other people have figured out what it is. But we're getting Yarn and Blood put into us via blood administration. So, okay, we're going to be called Speedy, even though that's completely irrelevant what your name is. Won't spend a whole lot of time here. Actually, that's fine. We need to decide what kind of run, like stat-wise, we want to do. In the past, I've usually started out with more of a strength build and got into dexterity later. With a weapon called Ludwig's Holy Blade. I might do the same for this just because it's easier. I'm trying to. So. We don't really need arcane. I'm thinking about just going straight military veteran. Because of the kind of balance with strength and skill. As well as decent stats elsewhere. We'll talk about stats a little bit. I guess we could actually do it now. So vitality is health. Endurance is it's like how much stamina you have. Strength and skill are both just like how much damage you do with certain weapons, as well as can you actually wield a weapon. Blood tinge is for like shooting weapons, so you get a pistol or a blunderbuss, and it's how much damage those do, as well as a couple other random things. Use it. Arcane does buff some weapons, as well as there's some like magic that you can use that increases with arcane. I think we're just gonna go military veteran though. Wish there were more people here to help me decide some of this stuff. We'll do that. Actually, no, that's all fine. We'll do something like that. No, that's all fine. We're gonna give him glasses. I don't think that really. None of this really matters because you can't see your character that well. Okay, that's fine. And we'll finish. And don't. I mean, you can read these. We'll read these items when we actually get them. And we'll kind of explore what the different things mean.
Whatever happens, you may think it all a mere bad
guess I can disappear for a bit.
You found yourself a hunter.
Okay. So, things found out from that. Those are the messengers. Let me actually brighten this up a tad. The messengers we'll see all over the place. They kind of live at like the lamps and transfer us back and forth between here and our basically our hub of the game, which we'll get to in a second. Let's see, filters. Up the brightness just a little bit. Actually, let me probably up the brightness in game to better effect. Okay. So yeah, the messengers are. We'll see them all over the place. We'll see them in a second, actually. Okay. So first thing, seek pale blood to transcend the hunt. So remember, we are pale blood. We are a pale blood, an outsider to this place. We are in Yosefka's clinic, where we got our blood transfusion. This is what we look like. I don't think there's anything else here much. We can't go back this way yet. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's nothing in here. I think these are all. So these are all written by other players. You can write notes to each other. We are playing online, so. There's nothing in here either. So if you notice, there's nobody else here. There's our first enemy, the werewolf. I'm trying to remember. Yes, I will. Normally you're meant to be killed by the werewolf, but I killed him. And then these specters are how people died. So he was feasting on peeps in here. I don't think there's anything else in here though. Other than you can just marvel at the detail in the game. Yeah, I should turn this up even more. make sure you guys can see. Because the whole part of this is that you should be able to see. Something like that. Okay. So also, for people who don't know about the attacks and stuff, so I did the holding. That's like a heavy hold. And if you do that on the back of an enemy, it staggers them, and then you can do the thing that I did, which is a back. It's not back stab. This guy has blood vials. So let's look at our first items. Okay, so we started with this. So Hunter's Mark. Dangling upside down rune etched in one's mind. Symbol of a hunter. By focusing one's thoughts on this rune, a hunter loses all blood echoes, but awakens afresh, as if it were just a bad dream. So, a couple things. The actual symbol itself, if you look at it, the symbol of the hunters is an upside down man. So if you imagine like a person upside down, hanging, their legs are like the skinny part, and then their arms are kind of like this. And then the head is the middle part. So that's the symbol of the hunters. Blood echoes are our currency in this game. So if we use this, we actually lose all the blood echoes that we got. And we awaken back at the latest lamp, I'm pretty sure. Okay, Bloodstone Shard. We just got this off of the werewolf. Well, we'll get lots of these. So, a solid shard that forms in cold blood. After death, a substance in the blood hardens, and that which does not crystallize is called a bloodstone. At the workshop, these bloodstones are embedded in weapons to fortify them. So, these are our upgrade materials, the base form of them. And, yeah. Let's see, I don't know if we... Okay, so this is our clothing that we start with. So, hood, worn upon awakening to the nightmare of blood and beasts. Perhaps its wearer had to stay out of sight and travel by cover of darkness. That memory, who will ever know? So, from this middle part, perhaps its wearer had to stay out of sight and travel by cover of darkness. So, if we had to wear this to come into Yharnam, then that means that we didn't want to be seen. So the people of Yharnam don't like outsiders. Okay, clothing, worn upon awakening. Not typical clothing for Yharnam. Perhaps it is of foreign origin. It is said, after all, the traveler came to Yharnam from afar. So that's us, we came to Yharnam. Okay, terribly worn and unsanitary. A faint memory recalls blood administration involving the transfusion of unknown blood. Not long after the nightmare began. So that's where we just began, the nightmare. So yeah, not typical clothing for Yharnam. Perhaps it is foreign origin. So these are the same as this one. Can we look at... Where is... Okay. I don't know why we can't look at blood vials. Okay. So yeah, we can't look at those consumables. Okay, so now we're in Central Yharnam. blood vials. Things to just kind of generally notice. Obviously, this place, there's like nobody here that we can see. Everything is in kind of disarray. There's bodies around. There's also these coffins. And they're just like out on the streets. Carriages just kind of out. Horses dead everywhere. And here's our first dude. I'm actually going to do this. No, ascend ladder. We'll come back down in a second. So that screeching, that is actually our first boss. So we'll get to deal with him later today. Oh, hey. Hey, bro. Followed us up the ladder. Okay, so this lamp. Oh my gosh. The lamps take us back to the Hunter's Dream, which is our hub. So yeah, Hunter's Dream. Okay, so first thing, this is why I wanted to come back here. So the messengers offer you a trick weapon. Choose one. Trick weapons are wielded with the right hand and employed in beast hunting. So we have the saw cleaver, which is kind of the infamous Bloodborne weapon. Like, everybody knows what this looks like. We have the Hunter's Axe, which is actually my favorite out of these ones. And we have the Threaded Cane. So if you look at the stats, Threaded Cane is more of a skilled weapon. Hunter's Axe is more of the strength one, and this one's kind of balanced. I've beaten the game twice with the Hunter's Axe starting, and once with the Threaded Cane. So I'm actually going to go Saw Cleaver. So that's our Saw Cleaver. And they offer us a firearm. I probably should have looked at the... We'll actually buy every single weapon and look at their things. But, okay, Hunter... So, pistol made at the workshop for hunters stalking beasts. Hunter firearms are specially crafted to employ quicksilver bullets fused with the wielder's own blood, boosting damage against beasts. Pistol is a quicker draw than the blunderbuss, allowing for speedier response to attacks. Or you can pick the blunderbuss. So it's created in the Hunter's line of work, the workshop. So same thing with the quicksilver bullets. The impact of this highly effective weapon counters beast's swift movements and is widespread, and its widespread is nigh on guaranteed to hit the mark. I'm going to pick pistol because I like it better. I know that because I've played enough. The little bit thing about my playstyle, I actually almost never use the pistol. I think that the countering, I mean, I don't like it that much. Just like personally. So I might try it a little bit more on this run. I'm just not, I never got used to it because I didn't like it, and now I'm like not very good at it. So. And then we get a notebook. So messengers are inhabitants of the dream who revere the brave hunters. Use them to send messages to other worlds. So this is how people put messages to other players. Oh, you beat Sun? Normal Sun? Leave notes with messengers. Read the notes left to messengers in other worlds. Let's also read our saw cleaver. One of the trick weapons of the workshop, commonly used in the hunting business. This saw, effective at drawing the blood of beasts, transforms into a long cleaver that makes use of centrifugal force. The saw, with its set of bloodletting teeth, has become a symbol of the hunt, and only grows in effectiveness the more grotesquely transformed the beast. So the whole thing in Bloodborne is trick weapons. So you can see it's like this, and then you can extend it. Yeah, so we're gonna talk to this guy.
You must be the new hunter. Welcome to the hunter's dream. This will be your home for now. I am Gehrman, friend to you hunters. You're sure to be in a fine haze about now, but don't think too hard about all of this. Just go out and kill a few beasts. It's for your own good. You know, it's just what hunters do. You'll get used to it.
Okay, so this is Gehrman, as he said, but also kind of think he almost struggled to like remember his own name. So he's super old. He's in a wheelchair. Also notice, if I can get the camera, okay, right there. He has a peg leg on the right leg. I'll mention when that actually comes back. The reason he has a peg leg actually comes back, kind of, in a kind of weird way.
This was once a safe haven for hunters. A workshop where hunters used blood to enhance their weapons and flesh. We don't have as many tools as we once did, but you're welcome to use whatever you find. Even the dog, should it please you.
Okay. Place for making tools to kill beasts and stuff.
This was once a safe paper workshop.
Okay. So the doll he's talking about is right here. Abandoned doll. We'll deal with her in a bit. So if you notice in the upper right of the screen, there are two different things. The top one is our blood echoes. The bottom one is our insight. So blood echoes are the normal kind of currency that we use to not only level up, but we buy items with it, and we infuse weapons with it. All kinds of stuff. Insight is kind of the other. I don't want to say currency. You can use it as currency, but basically, it's like, think of it as how well do we understand the world, like our character. So every time that we discover something of major importance, our insight actually goes up. So the major important things mainly being bosses, but also when we talk to very important people and things like that. And then as our insight increases and we start to understand the world kind of changes around us. So this is where we level up our weapons, which we can't do right now. So let's look at this. Okay. To escape this dreadful hunter's dream, halt the source of the spreading scourge of beasts, lest the night carry on forever. So that's basically, this is actually like the only thing that actually tells you what you're supposed to do. So we're supposed to... We'll read it again. Halt the source of the spreading scourge of beasts. I don't think there's anything too important here right now. We'll continuously come back here when things kind of change. So here's the messenger bath also, where we can buy items. We'll do that a little bit later. And then we travel back to Yarnum via these headstones. Okay, so let's do some actiony things. Actually do a Bloodborne. It's supposed to be. So yeah, I think I'll do this in kind of sections, so it's like lore section. Then we'll do like a bunch of fighting and normal things. Broken. If we come up on something, then we'll stop. But okay, so let's head back down here. Here's this first dude. Give us blood vials. Cocktail. So yeah, we'll after a bit I'll stop and then we'll read everything that we got. More blood vials. I don't think there's anything else over here. Just notice this locked gate right here. We'll come back through and unlock that from the other side. And from this viewpoint up here, I'll just kind of point out some stuff. So one of the best things about Soulsborne games is the interconnectedness of the levels and the fact that you can actually see everything, like where you're gonna go and where other parts of the level are. So we came from over there. So Yosefka's Clinic is that building right there. That is the high bridge. We will actually fight a boss on that bridge after we go all the way around. And then you can see there's a street kind of down there, and we'll wrap around. But first, let's go talk to this guy over here. So this is the first NPC that we have kind of a quest with, but he's not really a quest. He's more, we just need to come back and talk to him some.
Gained from this place, it will do more harm than good. Pale blood, you say? Never heard of it. But if it's blood you're interested in, you should try the Healing Church. The church controls all knowledge on blood ministration and all varieties of blood. Across the valley to the east of Yarnum lies the town of the Healing Church, known as the Cathedral Ward. And deep within Cathedral Ward is the old Grand Cathedral, the birthplace of the Healing Church's special blood, or so they say. Yarnumites don't share much with outsiders. Normally they wouldn't let you near the place, but the hunt is on tonight.
Okay, so tons of new information right there. So this is Gilbert. About him, obviously, he said he can't stand, so something is wrong with him. He's sick in some way. He's an outsider, just like we are. He confirmed our suspicion that Yardamites, as they're called, don't like outsiders and won't share much with us. But tonight the hunt is on, so we'll see that in a second. Next big thing he mentioned, the Healing Church in Cathedral Ward. So he mentioned it's to the east, across the way. That's the Cathedral Ward right there. That big area that's a little bit above us. And the Grand Cathedral. So the Healing Church is one of the biggest parts of the game. They're the people who control the administration of blood, as he said. And so a lot of things stem from them. So all the blood in the town comes from them. And he also gives us destinations, so we'll go to the Grand Cathedral after we get into Cathedral Ward to try to learn some more stuff. Let's see if he says anything else.
Across the valley to the east of Yarnum, you'll find the cathedral. Within lies the old main cathedral, said to be the source of blood. I haven't heard of pale blood, but that's your best bet if it's anything to do with unique. Across the valley.
Okay. So we'll come back and talk to him. Okay, so he mentioned the hunt is on tonight, so here's people on the hunt. So as you can see, all these people are kind of just normal people out on the hunt. Versus, I'm a hunter. Even the guy, Gilbert, knows I'm a hunter, even though I'm out of town. Which one tells us that people from out of town can also be hunters. They're accepted as hunters. The people here, just the normal people, are out on the hunt, which means at some point the hunt was no longer just for the hunters. People who are, like, skilled in killing. But it became for just normal people. Is there anybody back here? So if we engage these guys, we can see they're a bit crazy. I'm just a normal human. They're supposed to be hunting beasts. So, pretty much everybody out on the hunt now is kind of crazy. Okay, so here's that gate that we saw from the other side. So we need to open it. This thing. There's a dude over there. I guess we can deal with him now. I don't think he actually gives you anything. Besides blood echoes and... Whoops! Wow, that was pitiful. Wow, so bad. Oh my gosh. Just freaking headbutt me. Okay. Yeah, just blood vials. Things for people who haven't played this to notice. My health. After I get hit, it has like a big orange area where my health was. If I attack back quickly, I can actually regain health. That's called rallying. So reasons to get back and try to hit as soon as possible. Yeah, I don't think there's anything. There's not anything back here. So yeah, Yosef's clinic is right there. Yeah, let's go fight these normal dudes on the street. Is there any dudes up here? Cocktails.
Are you that outsider? Well, sorry, but I don't want anything to do with you. Trot along, will ya? Are you that outsider? Sorry, but I don't want anything to do with you. Trot along, will ya?
So yeah, don't like us. They don't like outsiders. Oh, here's these people. Okay, before they came along, I'm gonna make sure I check all these houses. I don't think there's anybody in these houses at all. Yeah, you just kind of notice that not everybody is taking part in the hunt. There's people that was up there, somebody here. So yeah, they don't like you. Bloodstone Shard. I heard a voice. Maybe it was this guy. Are there going to be more dudes who come back down this way? I don't think so. So you'll notice... Oh, whoops. Totally forgot about this guy. Remember the other two? So they're burning a beast right there. So these are all the people out on the hunt. Hey guys. A pole with a couple of them. Oh. So, yeah, there's a dude up to the left that wants to shoot me. There's a dog on the other side. Oh, yeah. guy saw me. Let's go. We're gonna go back this way and then up along the edge. Over here. There are stairs. There's some dudes over here I'll take care of first. So yeah, if you notice some of the things they're saying, you are not wanted here. Thinking I'm a beast, though. I forgot what the other guy just said. It's another dude with a gun. Where's the dog? The dog must be... Wait, oh, there it is. Okay, more blood vials. That was terrible. Okay. So that dude up there. I don't think there's any... There might be like one other person up here. Okay, he should drop bullets. Yep. Okay. Okay, Cold Blood do. I guess there's nobody around. Let's go read some of this new stuff. So Molotov cocktails. No, don't use. Read it. So everyone knows that a Molotov cocktail is. Explodes in raging flames when thrown against an object. One of the oldest hunter tools available in the workshop. Since the tragedy that struck old Yarnum, fire has become a staple in beast hunts and is thought to cleanse impurity. Certain types of beasts have an abnormal fear of flame. So, a couple things. First, Old Yarnum. I mentioned before we even started Old Yarnum. So, it's a part of the city that we will find. So, something happened there, a tragedy. And since then, so they've learned that fire actually is good against beasts. And we'll use that to our advantage on occasion. And some things are afraid of it. Okay, pebbles. So yeah, I love this. Small pebbles found throughout Yarnum can be thrown at foes, quite thrilling. So we can just throw these at things to get their attention. Okay, Cold Blood Dew. Droplet of cold blood containing blood echoes. Used to gain blood echoes. Hunters sustained by the dream gain strength from blood echoes. They imbibe the blood with thoughts of reverence, indeed, gratitude for their victims. So yeah, we use these. They're called like hard. They used to be souls, and souls use like hard echoes. They're basically echoes that we can use that we don't lose when we die. So when we die, all of our blood echoes are dropped and are either in the spot where we died or they're picked up by an enemy, and then we have to go kill to get them back. But these we don't lose unless you use it and then you die. Did we pick up anything else? No. So also this little bit about hunters sustained by the dream. So we're being sustained by the dream. Basically, so anytime that we die, we don't actually die. Like, we're caught and sustained by the dream, so we don't, like, actually die. Which is their explanation for why, if you get killed, that you're still here. Another shard. There's some dudes over here for us to talk to. Yeah, over here. So there's a party going on during the hunt.
Around here. Well, stuck outside on a night of the hunt. Oh, you poor, poor thing.
Oh, we need to. I don't think they say anything else. Yeah. Did they actually say anything of note? Nope. Other than, I guess, the laughing, like, people don't care if you're stuck outside on the hunt. Okay, reasons I'm doing this. There's a shortcut through here. So that gate, if you remember back at the lamp on the left side, this goes back that way. I'm debating whether we should go back now. No, I guess not. Just assuming that I don't get killed. I mean, I probably won't. So this is the dude who's yelling on the other side. We're going to go kill him. Okay. Most people, that's the person that they learn to parry on, but I don't really parry, so... You probably should have, like, a parry section to reteach myself. I want everyone's favorite enemy, crows. Oh. Crows drop pebbles most of the time. Also, if you listen, I'll probably actually turn the sound up a little bit more. So it's like a music box. That's coming from this house right here. There's a window over there. Making sure nothing's following me because there's enemies right there. So there's that window. We'll go talk to them. They are actually part of a big storyline. One of the main storylines that we actually are going to deal with today. I think there's an item over here. Yeah. Okay, another do. Okay. So there's a bunch of guys up here, including like a crap ton of dogs. Come here. I like to get the attention of the dogs. Come hither. No, where's the dog? Dog is more dangerous. Okay. Bullets, really? Interesting. Where is... Oh, let me just shoot you at point blank range. Okay, more blood vials. Blood vials are literally like the main thing that you get in Central Yharnam. Up you drop some... Oh no, this is just item here. More bullets. If we end up running out... I think force breaks, yeah. If we end up running out of blood vials, then we have to come back here, basically, and run through. Okay, I'm actually going to take the other shortcut. So there are two werewolves right there that normally I don't have issues with, but on occasion they'll kill me. Just like everything in this game. Some easy enemy will always occasionally just kill you. Because this is Bloodborne. And so that, I just wanted to make sure I got through that section. But then we're gonna... Okay. So, if you're wondering, so that, we went up the stairs, the werewolves are up there. We can't actually go back up right here. It's blocked. We're gonna go underneath. Unlock this. There's a dude in here. Unlock this. There's a dude over here. Grab this on the Bloodstone Shard. And we're back at the lantern. So, I'm going to actually no, I can't. So the way the doll works is the doll is only active while you have insight. As you can see, I have 0 insight. And the way you get insight, as I said before, mostly is by finding bosses, but there are items that give you insight. I'm trying to remember where. I know there's one of them around here. It's also this dude here, who's hilarious. He's just like in a wheelchair, and he has this big gun. And he always scares all first players, including myself. Yeah, pungent blood cocktail. Let's look at that. Maybe I'll be able to hear the guys up above. At least I can in headphones. Okay, so mature blood cocktail that releases a pungent odor when thrown that attracts bloodthirsty beasts. A precious tool in sadly short supply. In Yarnum, they produce more blood than alcohol, as the former is more intoxicating. So this is actually super important, this last line. So, blood here is basically the equivalent of like a drink here. And they manufacture more of it, and it's very intoxicating. So you can kind of imagine that the people here would drink a lot of the blood. I know it's kind of a weird thing to say, like, drink blood. So pretty much everybody around has been drinking the blood. So we can kind of think about that for a bit. About what that could possibly mean with everybody. Okay. When the hunt began, the healing church left us, blocking the great bridge to Cathedral Ward, as Old Yarnum burned to the ground that moonlit night. Okay, so a few things. Obviously, Old Yarnum, we know there was some kind of tragedy here. Now we know it burned to the ground. Like, completely. On some night. And that's the night that the hunt really began. But also on that night is when the healing church, this big body of... It's almost like they provide the blood to everybody, and they're very important here because everybody drinks their blood. They basically close themselves off to the rest of the city and locked themselves up in Cathedral Ward. So that they cut off Old Yarnum, they cut off Central Yarnum with that. And we also now know that kind of the healing church doesn't, they either don't care about the people, or they just wanted to save themselves, which is kind of not the same thing. Okay. So there's a dude up here. He's the guy that was whispering in the background, along with this guy. We're gonna do drop anything. Didn't drop anything. I'm trying to remember where. So there are the werewolves. So the stairs that we would have come up are over there. Also, you can see. So there's where the hut was. So it goes underneath here and then up on the other side. So if you can kind of like picture everything in your head. I don't think inside is up that way. We'll go up that way in a bit. But I still don't want to fight the werewolves yet. There's some dudes down there. This is where the dogs are. I'm killing these dogs because they get released. Like this one did. And there's another one over here. There's something like that. Okay. Let's see. There is some laughing people. Where are you? Oh, I think actually they're up there. Never mind. Okay, so this dog was barking in here.
You're a hunter. Well, do you know of any safe places?
So she asked if do you know any safe places. We'll come back to her.
I've heard of her. Shutting up indoors isn't always enough. Well, if you once had got off your arse, you wouldn't be in this mess. You're obligated to help me, you hear? So what'll it be? Are you going to tell me you're not? I should have known. You're good for nothing. No respect for the elderly is what that is. That lot of good you outsiders do. Go on, admit it. You think we're all mad, don't you? Well, go and stop it. I know all your tricks.
Okay, a couple things from that. Obviously the not liking the outsiders still, but we figure out why. It's because Yharnamites think that the people outside of Yharnam think that everyone in Yharnam is crazy. Which is kind of true. Next thing, this, like, looking geography-wise. So there's Cathedral Ward again. This is not the Great Bridge, that's just a bridge. The Great Bridge is off to the left, we can't see it. Down below is the sewers, which we will go in a bit. So if we come in here, let me kill this dude real quick. So this is our first actual beast guy, like full beast. Notice he was carrying a torch, so he's not one of the ones that's afraid of fire. So in here, we notice there's like a big room with a bunch of rafters up there. A lot of people miss this. You can actually go into the rafters. At least they miss it on like their first go. You can destroy all these and just drop in, like right here. So now we're up above, and there's a bunch of items and crap up here. But more importantly, is this person over here. Let me tap some things off my list. So we are talking to, this is Eileen. And she has a major storyline, so we'll be talking to her quite a bit throughout our journey. So you can see she's wearing one of those like doctor's masks, like with the crow face. As well as if you notice her clothes, they are like all raggedy, like a bird's feather almost. So her name is Eileen the Crow.
Oh, a hunter, are you? And an outsider? What a mess you've been caught up in. And tonight of all nights. Here, to welcome the new hunter.
Okay, so more. Both Hunter's Marks are the ones that waken us up. We lose all of our blood echoes, but we go back to the lamp. Actually, I think they. Not sure. You might actually go back to the dream. I don't. I almost never use them. So
Prepare yourself for the worst. There are no humans left. They're all flesh-hungry beasts now. Still lingering about. What's wrong? A hunter unnerved by a few beasts. No matter. Without fear in our hearts, we're little different from the beasts themselves.
okay, gesture. I'll show you the gesture in a bit.
What are you still doing here? Enough trembling in your boots. A hunter must hunt. What are you
Okay.
A hunter?
So. Right, you can set items to be used up here. I don't remember how to use gestures. There's gestures. So you have all kinds of gestures. I want switch this one. No, new one. So yeah, Eileen the Crow. We'll meet her in a. Let me see. She appears in the Cathedral Ward next, and then we help her with some stuff. She is what's called a hunter of hunters, so she actually hunts hunters who've gone mad. Which we don't go mad, but we help her with a few people. Okay. Knocking down some stuff so we can get it later. The do. Let me pick this one up. I don't think so. Shit! Didn't want to drop. Didn't want to do that. Ah! Since when can you shoot me through the thing? Now everyone is freaking awake. Is this mouse gonna come down? Mouse. Rat. Make sure that he doesn't. Okay. So, aha! This actually was what I was looking for. So they were gnawing on this body with a madman's knowledge. So let's get out of here. You gonna drop down? Then we'll come back this way. So I'm just gonna run back. Ladders over here. Don't shoot me. There's a bunch of dudes right there. There's a dude right here. people following me? One dude's following me. So we'll come back here in a second. Ah! This is... So the reason I wanted to do all that, so we'll read this Madman's Knowledge and then I'm going to use it. Okay. So, Scroll of the Madman, touched by the wisdom of the Great Ones. Used to gain insight. Making contact with Eldritch Wisdom is a blessing, for even if it drives one mad, it allows one to serve a grander purpose for posterity. So, lots of things here. So, Scroll of the Madman, touched by the wisdom of the Great Ones. So, the Great Ones are these beings that live in, like, an upper plane. And they play a huge role in the game. We'll touch on them more as we kind of deal with more of this stuff. But just kind of keep this idea that Great Ones exist in this world. And if you gain their wisdom, then you start to go kind of insane. And the people here but they still call it a blessing, as it allows you to kind of live for this grander purpose. So we are going to use this. And as you can see in our upper right, we now have 1 insight. And now, if we return to the Hunter's Dream, the doll will actually be, like, alive. And that only happens when you have 1 insight. Most of the time, when people play this game, you don't have insight until you come up to your first boss, so you can't level up. But I'm going to level up. So here's the doll. She's super important, because she allows us to level up, and she tells us lots of things.
Hello, good hunter. I am a doll, here in this dream to look after you. Honorable hunter, pursue the echoes of blood, and I will channel them into your strength. You will hunt beasts, and I will be here for you, to embolden your sickly spirit.
Okay. So she channels our blood echoes.
Very well. Let the echoes become your strength. Let me stand close. Now shut your eyes.
Okay, so here's our stats. So Vitality bumps our HP, Endurance bumps our Stamina, which is how many times we attack and can dodge and stuff. Strength boosts our weapon. So does Skill, because our weapon actually, like, is on both sides, kind of. Bluntage actually doesn't do anything for us right now. Arcane doesn't do anything. Though every single thing that we upgrade increases our physical defense. And let's see what I want to do. No matter what, if you don't know what to do, you kind of just put it to Vitality. I want to bump. Try to think about what weapons I actually want to use. I probably do want to use Ludwig's Holy Blade, which is both of these. So I think I'm actually going to increase this. Do that. This is we basically already doubled our physical defense. And we'll talk to her a bunch. I'm probably going to level up quite a bit before we end up doing any bosses. Just kind of because.
Did you speak with Gehrman?
Yes.
He was a hunter long, long ago, but now serves only to advise them. He is obscure, unseen in the dreaming world. Still, he stays here, in this dream. Such is his purpose.
So, a couple things. So, Gehrman is a hunter. Was a hunter, not anymore. Also, kind of this idea about dreams and the waking world. It's very confusing. But basically, this little pocket called the Hunter's Dream is the only place where Gehrman exists. He doesn't go anywhere else. We actually go in and out of the dream here, as well as the waking world is basically Yharnam in its entirety.
Ah, the little ones, inhabitants of the dream. They find hunters like yourself, worship and serve them. Speak words they do not. But still, aren't they sweet? They...
Okay. Let me check off. No, okay. We'll talk to her every once in a while.
May you find your worth in the waking world.
Okay.
Welcome.
No.
What is it you desire?
No, didn't want to talk to you. Okay, so here they give us 2 items, Beckoning Bell, Silencing Blank. These are for multiplayer. We'll see how much we use these during this run. Probably not a whole lot. So the Beckoning Bell. It's a great old bell discovered in the underground labyrinth. Its ring resonates across worlds, and the first hunter used it as a special signal to call hunters from other worlds to cross the gap and cooperate. A human must use insight to ring this uncanny bell, but the benefits of cross-world cooperation are many. So, a couple things. First, this idea of an underground labyrinth. There's an underground labyrinth underneath Yharnam. That'll come back later in story parts. We can't go there. Not in the main game. Well, like, not in like the main story game. It's part of the Chalice dungeons, which are like randomly generated stuff. Yeah, I guess that's most of it. Okay, then the Silencing Blank. Just ends. If somebody's in your world helping you, you can get rid of them. So back to Yharnam. Okay. Let's go kill those werewolves real quick. Oh, hey, Bo. Or attempt to. They're the first enemies in the game that I die fairly often to, just because I do stupid stuff sometimes. Okay. Let's kill these guys just so they don't randomly pop up if I have to come back in here to hide from the werewolves. Oh yeah, we also need to upgrade our weapon at some point. No, we don't need to. I want to. Can I get any to look at? Okay, I'm gonna put pebbles here. Actually, I'm gonna kill these guys first. Hello. Oh my gosh, I almost got stuck on him. Okay. That was derpier than I wanted, but whatever. Hello. Okay. So that... Oh, wait. No. So that, yeah, that little blip we can fall off of is right here. We're not going to do that, though. Come here. Oh my gosh, son of a bitch. No, 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 no. Wait, what? Did one of them fall? I thought I saw one of them fall through the world. We're gonna go back around. Back up. Didn't feel like dealing with two of them. Sometimes one of them falls through the world here. Hello? Wait, no, no, they're not there. Hey. Come here. Yes. Oh, get in the middle. Ooh. No, two of them. Freaking werewolves, man. Okay. So the place that the stairs come up on is like right here. So those guys go down there. There's an item over here that nobody ever freaking finds. It's so funny. It's just a shard. That we need that shard. I think we're going to be able to actually upgrade our weapon twice before. I think that's how many shards are in Central Yharnam. So, you can look here. So there's where the hunt was. So if you think about, you start over there, like over there. And then you come across, you come under here, and you go through right there. I'm pointing with like my head. So you go through there, and then you go around, and then you come up, and then you go across this bridge, and then back across, and then you unlock that gate. So, and remember, this is the Great Bridge that goes across. It stands on the other side. Is there anything over here? Yes, there is. See, more shards. I never even knew this was a thing. Like, the very first time I came in, like, played this game, this area over here. So then, is this. So this goes down. Is there a ladder? Okay, the ladder's right there. So this area is like right above the sewers. The sewers are like over that direction. I think you can actually drop on this guy when he comes over here. He might be a problem later. I don't remember if there are any items up on the sides. Oh, there's another dude. Okay. Oh, more blood bottles, cool. Select this guy. Failure. There we go. More blood vials. I don't remember. I don't think that. Did he come up the ladder? He totally came up the ladder. Wasn't sure if they could do that. The answer is yes. Okay. So there's a section over here. We can drop down on an item. It's on this little, like, wooden piece that goes across. Right here. Thick cold blood. There's a dude over there. Miss the rat! Ah, there's a bunch of rats over here. Intense rat fight. Okay. Oh, I thought there was an item here. Whoops. Whatever. Okay, so let's go kill this guy over here. And he actually is guarding something that I really want. Yeah, this bro. Okay. So he's guarding the full hunter set. Hey, Tentacle, you're back! Okay, so let's change into it. So if you notice, the hunter set has way the shit better defenses than our foreign garb, and look how much badass we look. So. Okay, so let's read this. Okay, so hunter hat. So, one of the standard articles of hunter attire fashioned at the workshop. A fine piece of hunter attire that provides stable defense to anyone facing Yarnum's beastly threat. Recognizable by its withered feathers, this cap is fashioned after one of the old hunters. Ah, I see. Fair enough. Yeah, I can probably actually... I totally spaced on putting the chat box back in. Oops. No, don't do that. Which hunter? I don't know. I'm trying to remember, does anybody wear this? When we fight them? I feel like somebody must. We'll keep an eye out for it. Okay. So yeah, one of the standard articles of hunter attire, accompanied with a short cape to wipe away blood. A fine piece of hunter attire that provides stable defense. Allows one to stalk beasts unannounced by cover of night. So this is important. By cover of night. So if we think about... if somebody wearing this wants to hunt beasts and they're doing it by night, do the people of Yharnam know that the hunters are out? So we kind of think about, did the hunters, were they originally hunting as part of a group that was publicly known? And this seems to suggest that no, they were not known, at least at the beginning. Okay, hunter gloves. One of the standard articles. Stable defense. Same thing as the last one. These are all... okay. So, yeah, right now, I haven't quite decided what weapon I want to go for. If you want... I mean, you can... Right now we have Cleaver, because I've actually never beaten the game starting with the Cleaver, because I don't like the Cleaver very much. So I thought I might as well play with the Cleaver. And then I'm just boosting... I'm probably going to go for Ludwig's Holy Blade, which goes off of both strength and skill, so that's kind of what I went on. So... okay, so now that we look like a freaking badass and actually have decent defenses. Let's see, we need to go to the sewers next. I've never liked the Cleaver because it doesn't have very good range or crowd control. That's... I've always been a super big fan of the axe. So, yeah, I think I'm gonna try more different weapons this playthrough. So, we'll just kind of see what happens. Can I... get out of my way. Yep. Transform. I mean, the transform attacks is why most people like this weapon. So. To the sewers. Should be some dogs. Yes. So far. Oh my god. Yeah, I haven't died yet. I haven't done anything crazy yet, though. By crazy, I mean actually fight anything. Of decent strength. We almost... actually, I almost fell to my death. Into a crowd of rats. Hey, bro. Yeah, I mean, we've been going like crazy slow, so which is the whole point of this run. Yeah, I've never played Bloodborne with somebody there to distract me, so... Hello. What is here? Another do. Yep, I talked to Eileen. Yeah, so what happened, we came here the first time, and I went up there, and I talked to Eileen, and we knocked down the items, but then when I was knocking down the second item, I fell down towards the rats, right there, and almost got killed by the rats. Sir? Friendly them. No, we'll go around out here. And then we'll go down. Then we'll drop down there. I hate this little section right here because of the guys that shoot you. Okay. Where'd he go? Where did he... What? Where's the dude who was walking over here? Oh, he fell down! Come at me. Oh, whoops. Pick up this. More bullets! Everyone's favorite enemy. I thought that would hit both of them. No. No. Is there anything over here? Oh, a hidden crow. That I can't log on to. Okay, there's the sewers. Okay, let's go drop down to those rats. So I think there's anything else right here. More crows! Oil urn. Okay, something new to read. Okay. When this urn hits its mark, the target is drenched in oil and made extremely flammable. Fire is commonplace on the hunt, and oil urns accentuate its effects. Sometimes when hunters burn beasts, they appear intoxicated by the euphoria of purification. Not anything too new that we haven't talked about. Fire. I mean, I guess, like, maybe hunters getting, like, obsessed with the hunt. Oh yeah, I forgot about this. I missed! Okay, let's go back up. Can't believe I missed. Oh, we have to go back around. Son of a bitch. For sure, yeah, if something is incorrect, or could need some help, always looking to improve. Good. Another shard, okay. Couldn't remember what was there. think we actually have to drop down to this twice, yeah. Little pattering rat feet. Saw spear. Oh yeah. Oh. Let's read Saw spear. Okay. So, one of the trick weapons of the workshop, commonly used by those who dedicate themselves to the hunt. This saw, effective at drawing the blood of beasts, transforms into a medium-range spear. The saw, with its set of bloodletting teeth, has become a symbol of the hunt and only grows in effectiveness more grotesquely transformed the beast. So this is basically the same as the cleaver. They're very similar. Okay. Put it as like part of the front. Okay. Can do that. Okay, I switched them around. Thanks for the suggestion. Okay, does this actually have better stats? No, it has worse. It has slightly better skill bonus. So that's 99 right now. This one's 96. Does it have different attacks? I've never used it before. Actually, I'll just put it here. Oh, okay. The extended form is a lot different. Stabby stab. Versus... That's more cloud control. Crowd control. But I do kind of like the longer. We'll try it out. Okay, let's drop down here. No, sirs. More stone shards. Throwing knives. We didn't look at throwing knives. Throwing knives. A throwing knife with a finely serrated blade. One of old hunter Henrik's favorite weapons. Remember Henrik. He comes up actually fairly soon. Does not cause a great deal of damage to beasts, but with deft use can distract attackers and keeps them at bay. So we'll actually run into Henrik decently soon. After we do some stuff in the Cathedral Ward. I use them on occasion when I have run out of, like, pebbles. Okay, let's go up this way first, actually. But yeah, I don't use them on a regular basis. Yeah, so the plan is on this... So I think it's going to take... Yeah, exactly. I think I've done it like once ever. When enemies are being dumb. So the plan to get through all of this is... So the first run that we go through, I'm literally going to... It's going to be like the slowest. Reading literally everything. Killing every single thing. Every boss. All that stuff. Including DLC. And then we'll come back through on New Game Plus and do it faster. And redoing some of the quests. Well, like in the Cathedral Ward, you send most of the people to the chapel. But then we'll do one where we send them all to the clinic. I've been considering the Chalice Dungeons. It depends, because if we were doing Chalice Dungeons, I'd probably do the route that gets us to the Queen of Yarnum, whatever her name is. Is it just Queen of Yarnum? And that would be the route that we take. It kind of depends how fast we end up going through stuff. I might do just a little bit of Chalice Dungeon stuff if we decide not to do the full thing. Hey, bud. Oh, I wanted to stab you. Rotation battle. No. So yeah, I think we'll end up doing... And also to get all the endings, we have to do the full game 3 times. But that last game will literally only take, like, 5 hours. Because New Game is super... New Game Plus is pretty quick. Yeah, I think I don't know, my personal... I don't like parrying very much. I feel like it's kind of cheap. Especially to those guys. So, that's just me. I don't like it very much.
Trying to fool me to open this door. Heavens, the depths of depravity. Wretched outside trying to help.
So, yeah, I don't know. I'm just not like a super big... Same like I'm not a big fan of parrying in Dark Souls. That's just me. Okay, so if you remember, earlier we were on the other side, right there. You can hear the music box. I mean, I don't know if you guys can hear it. It's really faint on my headphones, so you guys probably can't hear it.
Who are you? I don't know your voice, but I know that smell. Are you a hunter? It's really look for my mum. Daddy never came back from the hunt, and she went to find him, but now she's gone too. I'm all alone and scared.
Okay. So this girl is very important. This is the first storyline and probably the only one that we're really going to follow through on today.
Really? Oh, thank you. My mum wears a red jeweled brooch. It's so big and beautiful. You won't miss it. Oh, I mustn't forget. If you find my mum, give her this music box.
Okay.
It plays one of Daddy's favourite songs. And when Daddy forgets us, we play it for him so he remembers. Mum's so silly running off without it. My mum wears it so big. Oh, and please.
Okay. So the things about this that we have to remember. So one, her mom is gone. We'll find her later. Remember the red jewel brooch. That's how we know who she is. Let's read the music box. Okay. Small music box received from a young Yarnum girl. Plays a song shared by her mother and father. Inside the lid is a small scrap of paper, perhaps an old message. Two names can be made out, however faintly. Viola and Gascoigne. Okay, so Gascoigne is the first required boss of the game. And remember, she said sometimes we play it for him when he forgets who we are. So you can tell that he's already gone crazy, which is why we have to fight him anyways. So just kind of keep that in your mind as we kind of unveil the mystery behind Gascoigne. No, down. I surprised you because of my dislike of parrying. Okay, now we can actually head into the sewers. Whoop. Okay, so in the sewers are a crap ton of these dudes. Which are always a hassle to deal with. Just because there's so many of them. And our weapon is terrible right now, because we haven't upgraded it. I don't think we actually should need to kill all of them. Ugh! Okay. We'll just leave those guys alone. Son of a bitch! No, don't barf on me. I like the stab better than the slice from the normal cleaver. What? You're not dead? Okay. Some dudes down there. Whole crap load of them. Back, I think there's an item back here. Yeah. with a shard. Okay, and this is always my favorite view. You can see down there, there's the pig. We'll kill him from the other side, because it's funnier. $1.3 times? Oh my gosh, you can see the shadow of the elevator, that's weird. So on the very first time I played it, I played to New Game +2. When I played this, I have a Platinum Trophy on this. I played that New Game +3. Then I played like 2 other random playthroughs. Come on. La 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 la. Nor the fact that I almost died doing that. Yeah, I've watched lots of people play this, so I know my way through this game like ridiculously well. Okay, so this guy, I picked the wrong button, son of a bitch. There's your parry. Everyone's favorite. Okay. So a couple things that I want to point out here. So, if we look straight through there, can't see my hand where I'm pointing, but straight that way. That's where we first came into Central Yarnum. This is the Great Bridge up here, so we've come like across and underneath it. The elevator goes up and down that building, and then we obviously went through over there through the sewers. Something to keep in mind, though, we can actually look down over here. I think there's a better view right here. That down there is Old Yarnum. You know how I know that? Because I recognize exactly the roads and the buildings and stuff. It's kind of it's one of those things that, like, nobody playing this for the first time will ever notice because you haven't been there yet. But if you take the time and look, and so those stairs go down there, and then underneath, so actually underneath, like, the sewers and crap, is another boss. And because we also know that, so down right here, going underneath in this valley, kind of, is a place called Yahar Ghul, which we'll visit later as well. It's not shown in any kind of detail right here. And also, the game, it's called the Hidden Village because it's, like, masked, like normal people you can't see it. But it's definitely down there. And there's actually another boss fight, like, right down there. It's one of those things that's just, like, kind of ridiculous. If you know where to look, then all the things, like, kind of come together. So the way up there is to Gascoigne. We're not going to do that yet, though. We're going to go back through here and go level up our weapon. And level up ourselves, maybe like once. And then we're going to go beat the first boss, Cleric Beast. Yeah, it's kind of mind-blowing how much detail is just, like, off in the distance if you know exactly where to look. Because, like, originally I was... Well, not originally. Like, a while ago, I was coming through here. And then in my mind, I was like, well, where would these places be? And I was like, well, it should wrap around over there. And I kind of looked, and I was like, oh shit, it actually is. It's right there. Okay. What? No. Son of a bitch. I don't know why those parries didn't work. Yeah, when we get there, the nightmare areas are super interesting. There's so much going on there. What is this item? Did I just kill this guy and, like... I must have killed him, like, forever ago, and then we didn't pick up. Okay, so we're gonna go back to the dream. I think I'm gonna stay with the Hunter Sphere. I actually like it quite a bit. And then we'll go do the first boss. And hopefully not die. Usually I can get through him without dying the first time. Well, Hunter Belt, cool beans. Fortify. Okay, Saw Spear. +2. I don't think we need to really repair. No, I haven't. Not that it really matters. Where did Gehrman go? Is he back here? There he is. Okay, I don't think he actually says anything until after you kill Gascoigne first. Okay. Boop. I guess, yeah, you're right. So if you notice, when we strike her, her blood is this, like, white. So rather than, like, a red. And that's... I'm trying to think. Is that's the same as the... I'm brain farting on the name of it. The kin. So it's like a different kind of... I read that at the very beginning. I don't think this one does. The one in the first building in Yosefka's clinic does. References pale blood. Who knows there? I don't think we actually need to buy anything here. Yeah, like the very first one that you read mentions it. Do that. Let's remove. See, how much attack does this thing have now? 119. Wait, do I... How much do I need to... level? Okay, we have enough. We have so many of these. How much is one of us? Let's actually use like all of these. Might as well. Wow, that ended up perfect. Okay. Let's go kill Cleric Beast. See if I can get him on the first try. Normally, when I just randomly play through here, I can kill him on the first try. But on occasion, I derp. It's so funny, because like the very first time you play the game, you're like, this boss is so hard! And now you're like, he's derpy as shit. Okay. Hello, sir. Don't mind me. Yeah, I mean, I think it took me 3 tries the very first time I played. But that was also the first time I played this was before I really got into Souls stuff, so... You ready? Oh, here's a good view of, Cathedral Ward. So this is the Great Bridge, obviously. Hello. Whoops. Blah. Also, super epic music. Oh, god damn it. I forgot that he did that. I mean, it's not really like a god damn it, it's more like a oops. Oops. Misjudged the distance. That was stupid. Can't see. You're too hairy. I thought he was gonna leap at me. Boom. Okay. That wasn't too bad. Used, what, 5 blood vials? Raining blood. Whee! So yeah, that was Cleric Beast. When the game very first came out, everybody thought that the Cleric Beast was a character called Ludwig, who is known as the first hunter of the church. We'll learn about him fairly soon, I'm sure. That's not true, but... let's go look at this badge that we got. Okay, one of the badges crafted by the Healing Church. The silver sword is a symbol of a church hunter. Ludwig was the first of many Healing Church hunters to come, many of whom were clerics. As it was, clerics transformed into the most hideous beasts. Okay, so now we learned about Ludwig. So, obviously, the badge comes from the Cleric Beast. He was holding it. So it was held. So that Cleric Beast was one of the church hunters. We learn later it's not Ludwig, even though this thing references Ludwig. And well, but also this tells us that the clerics turned into like the most hideous beasts out of all of the different. Like so far, we've seen a lot of like just characters turning into random beasts and stuff. But all of the main characters that we hear about, like these, it's like Ludwig, turn into really bad things. Plus, we learned that Ludwig was the first of the Healing Church hunters. So, important stuff. I think we can just go back and level up a little bit more. And then we'll go do Gascoigne. And then we'll be done with our first round of Central Yharnam. So the order I played them. So I played Demon Souls first, but I didn't beat it the very first time I played. And then I played Dark Souls, but I didn't beat it. I barely played any of it. Then I played Bloodborne, actually. So Bloodborne was one of the very first ones I played. So it's probably... I mean, that contributes to me not being as good on the first go-around. Then I played Dark Souls. Wait, no. Then I played Demon Souls, then I beat Demon Souls. Then I played Dark Souls, and I beat Dark Souls. Then I didn't play for a long time. Then I re-beat Bloodborne. Then I played Dark Souls 2, and I platinumed Dark Souls 2. Then Dark Souls 3 came out, and I beat Dark Souls 3. I've beaten Dark Souls 3 a lot. Then I platinumed Dark Souls 1. Then I went back to Demon Souls actually last year and tried to platinum it, and I only have one more trophy to go, which is kind of annoying. It's one of those ones where you have to get this one item that only drops with like a 1 in 1,000 chance. I usually use Ludwig's Holy Blade because it's rad as hell.
Hello, good hunter. I am a doll, honorable, and you will have
Already
to
said this.
embolden your sickly spirit.
It shows, like, just because of the way I fight.
Very well.
That makes sense.
Let me stand close. Now shut.
We've only one level. One more health, one more damage. It's not very much more damage, though. Probably go for the health. Yeah, I think my fighting style a lot of times is to do the full hold from further away. It's about the same distance for both of them. I also tend to use great swords in Dark Souls as well. So I'll try to change my fighting style. I mean, I'm not sure if I'll keep this the whole game anyways, but we'll see. See how I do against. So, disclaimer, Gascoigne, for some reason, always is like one of the hardest fights for me. I always have issues with him. No, I mean, it's good to take advantage of the weapon I'm using. So, I'm probably going to die against Gascoigne a bunch. Yeah, I don't know why. I have just, like, so many issues with him. Like, I usually can beat most bosses in this game first try now. But even, like, when I went back, like, a couple months ago, just to, like, practice, it took me, like, 7 or 8 tries. It was just like, come on. I'll let the fireball take it out, because it's funny. What? How did you survive? Other thing I mentioned at the beginning of the run when you weren't here, because we're doing a lore run, I don't mind if people want to join me in cooperation. If you're like, oh, I feel like playing some Bloodborne, feel free to come and join. We can rage on bosses together. That was so late. Oh my gosh. We also forgot to go do the pig. Ooh. Yeah, just saying, if you ever are at home and feel like it, always welcome. Okay, pig. And also with that, if I start having like a ton of issues, oh my god, you stupid pig. Not supposed to turn around. I wanted to fist the pig. There we go. Okay, so we get to read that badge. If I'm having like a ton of issues with bosses, just mostly because I'm out of practice. And I prefer that this run go faster in terms of like bosses, and you don't just like sit me banging my head against some of them. Mainly Breedus calling you out. I have more issues with her than anybody. Then I might just call for people. Because this run isn't about bosses and being okay at them. It's about going through the lore. So, yeah, if I try like 5 times and I'm not doing so hot, then I might call somebody in. Just to speed it up. Plus, we'll see how this goes since I'm not used to this weapon. Ooh. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, we need to read that badge. Okay. Saw Hunter badge. Badge crafted long ago at the workshop. Attest to one's prowess as a hunter of beasts. The workshop is gone, and no group recognizes this meaningless badge except the messengers in the bath who understand its profundity. Certain things can only be entrusted with a hunter in possession of this badge, or so they believe. So, I always thought this badge was interesting, because it's like, attest to one's prowess as a hunter of beasts, and you literally find it on a dead dude. In the sewers. I always was just like... I mean, anybody can get... Those pigs, man, those pigs. Not that pig particularly, but other pigs. So, yeah, we'll let this... Yeah, you're right, this lets us buy things. Back at the messengers. I'm just gonna move this over here. It's bothering me. So. Yeah, we get to buy all kinds of stuff. I think that lets us buy the other weapons from the beginning. So. Okay, gas coin time. Though I do remember one time I was practicing, I did have an easier time with the saw cleaver than I did with, like, the axe, because it's faster. So, we'll see how this goes. Probably should heal, though. Cutscene! I do. I don't have them equipped. Like a dummy.
Beasts all over the shop. You will be one of them, sooner or later.
I love his cutscene. Okay. Whoops. Don't shoot me. What's that smell?
What's that smell? Sweet blood.
Oh, son of a bitch. I was like, I should dodge back, and then just did not do that thing. Wow, I did not think he would do that. Ah. Son of a bitch. Shooting me. Okay. Ooh. Yeah, first try. Whew. God, my heart started going up when I had that little sliver. It's like, huh. Glad I could entertain your half-asleep self, Mark. Yeah, that's some hype right there. I don't think on any run I've ever done I killed him on first go. Yeah, you're right, the combo is like super good for stunning on him. Okay. Ready for sadness. Okay. So if you remember that little girl earlier, we search his body, we find the red jeweled brooch. Ah, thanks for the bits. So, if we go and look at this. So, a woman's bright red brooch engraved with the name Viola. Perhaps the jewel is a gift from a hunter, used to change into a droplet blood gem that fortifies any weapon. With a proper workshop tool, various weapons can be fortified. How's the body killed? Get out of here, view notes. Shot, maybe? Though there's a bunch of blood here. So, if we remember the tiny music box, and it says Viola, and then we go look at here, engraved with the name Viola. So, this here is the mother of that girl, and Gascoigne, as we just... Once she was stabbed, that could be it, yeah. I mean, either way, she's in this area where Gascoigne is. The likelihood... The high likelihood is that she was killed by Gascoigne, but if she was stabbed, then it wouldn't be Gascoigne because his weapon is an axe. So, yeah, we don't... That could be another thing, is he could have gotten very angry because somebody else killed her. If we try to see what Gascoigne was doing in here... actually, he was over at a body that was here. But there's bodies over here, like, all over the place. So, he obviously was killing all of these people that he thought were beasts or were beasts. And he's, like, basically drunk on, like, the blood and killing these people. So, he went crazy. So, we don't know if he killed his wife or not. It's one of those things that's like, yeah, we just don't quite know. So, light this lamp. So we're gonna go back this way. Let me look at my list of... Oops. Sorry. That. Making sure I hit everything. I didn't miss anything here. It's not a whole lot to miss, but... Okay, we have a couple people to talk to. So, first one, we're gonna go talk to the daughter. Did I kill the pig before I went in? Or was that a different run? I'm already getting stuff mixed up. Okay, yeah, that's this one. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I thought so. So we're gonna run through here. I need to not die on the way out of here. Let's see, I went through about 10... No, I went through 9 blood vials with Gascoigne. That's actually not too bad either. That fight was just, like, actually under control. Ladders. Can't have Bloodborne without ladders. Let's go. No! What is that? Okay. So on this, let me make sure I'm gonna do the thing quickly.
Hello, Mr. Hunter. Still can't find my mum.
Okay, on this run, I was going to not give her.
Yes, okay. I can wait. Mum knows I'm really brave, and you're very kind. I won't be afraid. I'll be a good girl. I promise.
Okay. I don't...
Hello, still can't.
Okay.
Yes, Mum, I won't.
Okay, so yeah, we're gonna leave her for a bit. We'll actually be back here in like 10 minutes. I just wanted to make sure that we hit that dialogue. Hello, dogs. Don't mind me. So we're gonna go back to this lantern so that we can talk to Gilbert again. Gilbert is the dude who's in the window. Right next to... Is this dude following me? Okay. Yeah, I see this ladder. Okay.
Yes, I see. But the Great Bridge is the only way to the Cathedral Ward. And during the hunt, the bridge is closed. You could try the aqueduct. There's a rather, how shall I put it, colourful area south of the Great Bridge. From there, an aqueduct leads to the Cathedral Ward. Not a place you'd normally want to visit, but I don't imagine you have much of a choice, do you?
So I think that actually, that happens after you talk to him after you beat the Cleric Beast.
An aqueduct leads from the town south of the main bridge to the Cathedral Ward. Not a place you'd normally choose to visit, but not much of a choice with the bridge closed.
Okay. I don't think he says anything.
An aqueduct leads.
Okay. Okay, thanks for dropping by. No dying allowed. I haven't died yet, have I? That's super weird. That's very strange. I think. Where's the next point that I normally would die at? I normally don't die on Bloodstarved Beast or Amelia. Shadows, yeah. Shadows is the next major threat that I usually have issues with, more so than anything before that. I'd probably die before that, just randomly, so... but yeah, I mean, if I still play, I'm playing solo like this actually makes me probably less likely to die. So yeah, that's the only other thing would be. I mean, I know my way through there, so he usually doesn't kill me anymore. So yeah, thanks for stopping by. Hope to see you again tomorrow or later. So can you
Welcome. What is it?
up me 2 levels?
Very well, let me step.
No, not quite. Not quite. Actually, let's bump this. Actually, we could sell bullets. Things I do because I don't parry. I can sell the bullets.
Welcome home, good hunter. What is it you desire? Very well, let me.
So I'll just do that. Okay, so we're going to back to the Tomb of Odin, I think. Actually, let me check off some things on my list. So we talked to the daughter of Gascoigne. We talked again to Gilbert after Gascoigne. Though we're actually going to go back and talk to him after we visit the Cathedral Ward, because his dialogue changes again. We're going to go talk to Gehrman now. Because I know he actually has dialogue that changes after Gascoigne. Is he still back here? Where did he go? Yeah, man. Darling. Darling kitty cat. Where the crap is Gehrman? Normally doesn't come out here. Didn't miss him. Oh. The stump messengers. I have no idea where he went. We just need to talk to him before we get up to 15 insights and beat Amelia. That'll be a bit. That's not gonna happen today, so maybe he went down here. A nice view out from the Hunter's Dream. Can't go in there yet. I have no idea where he is. Is he just not here right now? That's super weird. I didn't know he could leave. Okay, so we'll go back to the Tomb of Odin. That's where we fought Gascoigne. Actually, we probably should have looked to see if we could buy some new stuff. I know we can buy new stuff. We're gonna travel around a bit. Because once we get to Cathedral Ward, so many things open up. Okay, so we got the key. Let's read the key. Keys. So this is what we got for beating Gascoigne, right here. So key to the gate that blocks the Tomb of Odin. That's where we are. Beyond the tomb, Odin Chapel can be found in the center of the Cathedral Ward. Only today Let's see. Only today the church is abandoned, and some say the residents of Odin have all gone mad. So that's, if we kind of think, all the people right here have gone like crazy. Like, they're all dead now. But that might have been why Gascoigne started killing them. Plus, he's crazy also. And was turning into a beast himself. So, but now this next part, we're going to Odin Chapel. Because we're going beyond the tomb. Do we have anything else? I don't know if we read all that. Okay. There's nothing in here. Okay, so here's another note. There's a chest over there. The Bergenworth spider hides all manner of rituals and keeps our lost master from us. A terrible shame. It makes my head shudder uncontrollably. So this is the first time that we've heard of Bergenworth. So keep that in mind. Bergenworth is like a university. We will end up there eventually. The Bergenworth spider, who we will see eventually as well. And the fact that he's hiding things. So we have to go see him to uncover stuff. Okay. Here. Blood Gem Workshop Tool. Okay. Misplaced Workshop Tool from the Hunter's Dream. So it belonged in the Hunter's Dream. Or was supposed to be there. The hunter who retrieves this can fortify weapons by kneading blood gems into them. Blood gems add properties to weapons when used to fortify them, as blood defines an organism. So if you noticed, this says that we can change into a droplet blood gem and then insert that into our weapon, so that's what that is. We'll find gems as we go along. They increase our weapon stats and all kinds of stuff. Okay, small cutscene. Okay, so we are finally in the Cathedral Ward. And this is the Odin Chapel. So let's light this. So this actually triggers a couple things that we need to go back after we talked with this guy. So this is our friendly boy. Even though he looks creepy, this is actually one of the only characters in the whole game that is 100% friendly always. Which I kind of like, because look at him. He's like creepy. But we love him.
Hmm? Oh, you must be a hunter. Very sorry. The incense must have masked your scent. Good, good. I've been waiting for one of your ilk. These hunts have everyone all locked up inside, waiting for it to end. It always does. Always has, you know, since forever. But it won't end nicely. Not this time. Even some folks hiding inside are going bad. Screams of women folk, the stench of blood, the snarls of beasts. None of them's too uncommon now. Yarnum's done for, tell ya. But if you spot anyone with their wits about them, tell them about this here Odin Chapel. They'll be safe here. The incense wards off the beasts. Spread the word. Tell him to come on over, if you wouldn't mind.
Okay. So, obviously, he's invited us to tell people about the chapel. this is actually one of the most important events in the whole game because most of the NPCs revolve around the chapel and our ability to send them there or not send them here. So
I know I shouldn't be asking you, but if you happen upon someone while hunting, tell them about this here Erden Chapel. If they seem worth being told, that is. Oh, and I do sincerely hope they are. I know I shouldn't be asking. If you happen upon someone, if they oh, and
okay. So now with that invitation, we actually can trigger a bunch of other things. So we're gonna go back. I'm trying to think if it's faster. It's actually probably faster to just go back this way. So the first one that we can trigger is with a little girl. So we can send her here. The next one is, if you remember, there was a woman, like an old elderly woman, who was in a spot that was guarded by like a dog that we killed. And she is like, can you send me anywhere? And at the time, we were like, the only answer was no, because we hadn't heard of the chapel yet. But we can actually send people to... We can actually send her... Whoops. We can send her to the chapel. Okay, so... And one other thing that I want to do now is go... We're going to go back to the clinic and talk to Yosefka. I actually forgot to look at... Let's see, did I actually forget to do something? Where is Yosefka? Oh, whoops, we were supposed to talk to her before going to the Cathedral Ward. We'll go see what's up with her. Let's go up the elevator. Hopefully that didn't screw up too much. I might have to put that on something to do before and during the next in New Game Plus. Okay, so we're gonna go this way, up here, past the dogs. Okay, so now we can talk to this woman again.
So what is it now? Are much better ways to pass the time. Unless you found me a nice, safe place. Well, what do you know? An outsider worth a lick of salt. Well, don't just stand there. Don't you have work to do? Go slit some throats. Get this mess done with.
Okay. So now she's going to go to the chapel. We're going to go... I think the fastest way... is probably to get to the little girl. Let's actually go talk to Yosefka first. No, we'll go talk to the girl first. Okay, I think the fastest way is going to be this way. Actually, now I'm gonna have to fight the werewolves, though. Okay, we're gonna just gonna BS and run through here. I know the girl's right there. We're gonna do this, though. I'm gonna check to see if anything's coming. Nope, okay. So now we talk to this little girl.
Hello, Mr. Hunter. Still can't find my mum. Yes, okay. I can wait. Mum knows I won't be afraid.
I thought that we could send her. Let me check 1 second. I have a link to PCs. Crap, this is probably gonna open up the wrong browser. Okay. I just want to make sure that I'm not skipping a step. Okay, let's go talk to Yosefka. So let me talk one more time just to make sure. That's really strange. We might have to reload. But it's interesting that that wouldn't... I don't know why that would... Why it would work with the old lady and not with the old girl right away. Okay, so we'll just go talk to Yosefka. We'll reload. And then... Actually, I could have reloaded. Because you can quit game to reload. So, I think I already screwed up this. Talking to her once. We'll see you via the dialogue here.
Oh, well, hello. Splendid. Let me ask you a small kindness. You're soon off to hunt, I presume? Then, if you find any survivors, tell them to seek Yosefka's clinic.
Okay, yeah, we messed up.
Upon my Hippocratic oath, if they are yet human, I will look after them. Perhaps even cure them. This sickness, these beasts, they are not to be feared. This time the night is long. I may be trapped here, but I should do something to help. I'll even offer a reward for your cooperation. Tempted? Well, off you go then.
Okay. So, what we messed up on, I meant to come back here and talk to Yosefka before we killed Gascoigne and went to the Cathedral Ward. So, the reasoning for that is that's the person we just talked to right there is not Yosefka. That's actually an imposter, and we can't notice that now because we didn't hear Yosefka talk. I'm just gonna quick do this and then load into another place to see if the little girl will talk to us now. So you can actually tell because the voice actresses are different. It's very subtle. They actually pick people with very close, like, voices. We'll actually go here. But basically, when you talk to Yosefka at first, she's just like, go away, don't want you here. And then when you come back, the imposter is like, yes, send people to me. And now you have two options for people. You can send them either to the chapel or you can send them to the clinic. And in this playthrough, I want to send everybody to the clinic that I can. So it doesn't actually affect anything. It was just like a small tidbit. We can still deal with clinic stuff. It was just I wanted to have that we could go in there and see the difference between the voices. But it doesn't matter a whole lot. And we can easily just talk to her when we do New Game Plus. I think the dogs are coming. Okay.
Hello, Mr. Hunter. Still can't find. Oh, okay. Maybe Mum would wait and see what you think.
Okay, so now we have these options. So we can tell her to go to the chapel, the clinic, or withhold information. We're going to tell her to go to the chapel.
Yes, okay. Thank you, Mr. Hunter. I love you almost as much as Mum and Dad. And Granddad.
Okay, so that last little bit of dialogue is actually super important. Mum and Dad and Granddad. So when we wrap up this, we'll kind of talk about more of that. I don't want to just spill the beans on everything this second, but okay, let me knock that off of our to-do list. Okay, done. And then let me knock off. Let's see, we talked to the lonely old woman. We sent her to the chapel. And we actually talked to Yosefka's imposter. We'll get to talk to her again later, but not for a while. So I think that's the only stuff that we can do here in Central Yharnam currently. And that's where we're gonna stop. I'm gonna go run back to one of the lanterns. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else we can do here for now. The only reason we're going to come back here later is to deal with some more little girl stuff. Way later. Not like way later, but a ways later. There's just some other stuff that happens right there. And then we're going to talk to Gilbert here again, eventually. So yeah, tomorrow we will come back, and it's going to be Old Yharnam first. Because the way the Cathedral Ward is set up... Well, let's go see if we can find Gehrman again. We can talk to the doll here as well. The way that the Cathedral Ward is set up is that you can't access most of it from the beginning. You can either pay 20,000 Light Echoes to unlock parts of it, or you can go do Old Yharnam first and unlock it without having to pay. So that's what we're going to do, because you have to go to Old Yharnam anyways. So let's talk to the doll.
Welcome home, good hunter. What is it you desire?
See if she has anything else.
Over time, countless hunters have visited this dream. The graves here stand in their memory. It all seems so long ago now.
So that's already important, because we know that I'm not the only hunter who's been here to the Hunter's Dream. The doll is actually taking care of many hunters who've come here, and all these graves around here are because they died. So that's kind of interesting. We'll talk about that later, because obviously I can't really die yet. Because if I die in the waking world, I just get sent back here, and I can't die here either. I just get... I mean, I think you can kill yourself, like poisoning yourself or something. But you still don't actually die. So it's like, why are these other hunters not here anymore? And how does that affect us?
Over time,
Okay, so that's still the same.
farewell, good.
So let's see if Gehrman's in here. Okay, he is.
The moon is close. It will be a long hunt tonight. If the beasts loom large and threaten to crush your spirits, seek a holy channel. chalice will reveal the tomb of the gods, where hunters partake in communion.
Okay. Anything else?
Most of the holy chalices lie deep within the tomb of the gods, and the few that found their way to the surface were lost again in the hands of men. But if the old hunter tales remain true, one of the holy chalices is worshipped in the valley hamlet. Yet the town is in disarray. It was burned and abandoned for fear of the scourge. Home now only to beasts. The perfect place for a hunter, wouldn't you say?
So that's a lot of information right there. So he's talking about the chalices are what open the chalice dungeons. So he said most of them are still within the chalice dungeons. We'll see how much we do of that. But one of them was brought above ground and is now worshipped in a place that is in complete disarray. And we actually know that place. That's Old Yarnum. So we're actually going to go find the chalice. Not specifically to get the chalice, but we will find it, and that will tie into what he said. So, let's see if...
One of the holy chalices, a town of beasts.
So it's a town of beasts. So that's... Already we know that that's why Yarnum was burned. Old Yarnum was burned, was because it was full of beasts. But we have to go see it for ourselves. So this is open now. So this is a shop that lets us use insight. I'm not going to buy anything here, I don't think. We're going to read Gascoigne's stuff real quick, and then we'll end. So, hunter attire worn by Father Gascoigne, similar to hunter garb created in the workshop, only these are tainted by a pungent, beastly stench that eats away at Gascoigne. Father is a title used for clerics in a foreign land, and there is no such rank in the Healing Church. So, we can already tell, because he has the title Father, and it's from a foreign land, Gascoigne actually isn't from Yarnum at all. So, that's something interesting. His clothes are tainted by a beastly stench, and this has been eating away at him. So it's like he's been hunting for so long that his clothes smell like the beast, and he's becoming the beast. So it's like slowly just like, yeah, eating away at him, like it says. Okay, the Digi-Scarf is a holy shawl and symbol of the Healing Church, from which Gascoigne would eventually part ways. So, right there, he once was part of the church, but now he's not. He eventually left for some reason. That's the same as before, same as before. So, yeah. Is there anything else here? So, yeah, that's it for today. So yeah, tomorrow we will start with Old Yarnum, I'm pretty sure. I'll need to check. I'll check my notes to make sure there's nothing that we need to do before going into Old Yarnum. I don't think there is. And we'll do Old Yarnum. That won't take too long. It's not a very large area, really. There is a couple interesting storylines that go into there, and we'll kind of figure out. We'll probably do all of Old Yarnum's like lore tomorrow, and then we'll do a bunch of starting NPC side quests in the Cathedral Ward, because there's a lot of stuff interesting there that we had to start, and that mostly has to do with our new chapel that we can send people to. So we'll beat the boss. We'll probably end up beating the bosses. Well, for sure, do the bosses in those two areas. Then we'll kind of figure out where we want to go from there. Because from there, then you can split off into a couple different locations. So yeah, thank you everybody for joining me. Super fun. No death yet run. So yeah, get excited for more lore tomorrow as we delve deeper into Bloodborne. So have a fantastic rest of your day, night, morning, whatever, wherever you guys are. And I will see you all, most of you, hopefully tomorrow. So yeah, peace.